A little bit of an unorthodox tournament review this week. I wasn't even going to do one. Frankly, I was a little bit too frustrated until, frankly, this wonderful tournament that we went to on Sunday. Today being Sunday, I got back from it literally about 30 minutes ago, and I just wanted to do this fresh. I wasn't going to do one at all, but this was such an odd weekend of tournaments for me that I figured that we're going to just do it anyways, because there's a little bit of stories to tell, and I figured, hey, let's just get it done. Now, I'm a little bit under a time crunch because I have to be traveling to Japan for the Flesh and Blood world premiere of Part the Misvale, and I am going to be on the road as of like tomorrow night. So no fancy edits on this one. We're just gonna go raw. No script, no nothing, just Flake. So deal with it. So Saturday was at Hairy Tarantula, great store in north part of Toronto. Love it there. Great people, great community. Everything was great. Started the tournament 2-0 and figured, hey, I just need to win one more game and we're locked for top 8. What happened? Well, we 0-3'd after that word. Hey, that's how it goes. One mistake, forgetting about Boba Fett's ability. Boba Fett, the unit, the 3-drop, his ability about dealing damage beforehand. I made the wrong choice of who to attack, and it ended up costing me the game. Full credit to my opponent. My opponent was really good and played exceptionally. Not saying that that mistake would have won me the game or lost me the game in any way capacity, or sorry, in any way, shape, or form. However, that said, that kind of was like, that absolutely lost me that game. Regardless, like I said, my opponent played really damn well, and they full credit to them for that. But we didn't make it. It didn't happen. So we left. But I did win a raffle for a Judge Promo takedown, so I'm going to take that with me. So here it is. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these tournaments occur in like the Toronto region, and then the greater Toronto area is like 5 or 6 million people. It's massive. I was staying with my girlfriend who lives just like the north part of downtown, I guess we'll call it. I don't know. So I went from that store to her place, and then the next tournament was at 10 a.m., about 20 minutes away. So I wasn't going to drive all the way home and then drive all the way back, so I stayed at her place. And thing about it was that I found out at the tournament at Hairy Tarantula that the follow-up tournament at Game Shack was going to be a best-of-1 tournament, and I was not aware. And in my mind, I was like, okay, this is interesting. All I have is a Vader Blue list that I was comfortable with, so let's rock and roll, I guess. No problem. Woke up at 7:30. I like to take my time in the morning and not be rushed. So woke up, had coffee, had a piece of toast. Ended up, I had promised a good friend of mine, Zuhair, who's like incredible. He's the dude, if you remember my last tournament review, who beat me in the final round at 401 Vaughan. Probably one of the best Star Wars players in Ontario. And ultimately, he asked me if I could pick him up because he lives nearby and just help drive him to the place. I said, sure. So he gives me his address, and there is the address that I input into the GPS, and the address, there is XYZ of, said whatever, 123 Cherry Lane, and there's 123 Cherry Street. And I input it, and it auto-populated, and I just picked the first one I saw and went there. And when I texted him, I said, I'm 5 minutes away. He's like, cool, where are you? I'm outside. And when I got there, I was like, this is not the same place. And I looked again at what he showed me, and it's like, oh, I'm at Lane, and you're at Street. So I had to re-punch that all in. Again, Toronto huge, so there's like 40 different Cherry Streets and lanes and avenues and roads and spaceships and whatever. So I hustle over, I scoop him up, and Zuhair, to his credit, had just come back from Montreal playing in a tournament there on Saturday and arrived home at 3 a.m. and was up and at 'em to play in this tournament at Game Shack. So we got there in time, everything was good. Again, best of one tournament, and I only had my Vader Blue list. So I sided out everything and basically insulated against aggro. I figured it's going to be a Sabine Boba Fest, and that's what it was for the most part, and it's fine. Game 1, win. Game 2, win. However, Game 3 was an interesting one. It was either Game 2 or 3. I think it was Game 3. Game 3 this is going to be a unique tournament review because I am a little bit hot under the collar for specific reasons. And I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, and I'm not inciting any kind of aggressive approach to this. But here's what happened. I get paired up against a Sabine Green. No problem. I knew I was going to eat it early. The game begins, and we're playing, and everything seems to pop off the way it should pop off. Early trades, I'm soaking damage as much as possible. I'm, deleting things as I can. Finally, Big Papa Pump shows up. Now, keep in mind, rounds in the best of one are 25 minutes. And it's a best of one, so you have 25 minutes to resolve the game. Now, if you're extrapolating this over, like, a 55-minute round, in a 55-minute round, you've got, like 18 minutes a round? So 25 minutes for one round should be well more than you need to complete a game of Star Wars Unlimited. No problem, especially if you're on Sabine. So ultimately, I change things up, and I sort of swing the tide. Once Vader comes in, I slam a devotion on him. I'm healing up as much as possible. I was basically bouncing between like 18 damage and 25 damage back and forth between repairs and devotion on my Vader, cleaning things up. And the thing about it is that my opponent was playing fairly slowly. And I totally understand when that happens, because if there are new players, that's what's going to happen, is that they're going to take some time. And I'm very, very accommodating for that. And I am very, very welcoming of those types of players. And I want to be helpful. I want to be inviting and welcoming into the community, and that's fine. However, at a certain point, there was like 12 minutes left. We had gone halfway through, and I noticed that my opponent is being very, very deliberate in everything that they're doing. For example, I'm swinging with Vader for 5. They have the standard damage tokens, the 1s, the 5s, and the 10s, all laid out in front of them. I swing base for 5, and instead of putting a 5 stack on it, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, okay. They play For a Cause I Believe In. They're flipping off the top. 1, that's 1 damage. 2, 2 damage. 3, and I'm like, okay, like, I got it. I said, listen, we're up against the clock here. We need to pick up the pace. That's fine. That happened. Next up, we're playing. Again, now there's 8 minutes left. And I'm in a relatively commanding position, and they're taking quite a long time with all of their plays. And again, I'm very accommodating for new players. However, this player had a Showcase Sabine, a Hyperfoil ECL, and I commented on it. I said, that's a great setup. They're like, yes, I really love this deck. I play it all the time. So I foiled out the entire deck. So clearly not a new player. Gotcha. We're playing. Keeps going. I'm healing. I have 2 devotions on my Vader now. 2 devotions on my Vader now. I'm healing for 4, swinging for 7. Everything is looking good. The inevitability is there. It's not an issue. I'm drawing cards. I'm deleting units as they show up. I am hunting face. Like, I understand what the objective is here. I need to swing face 3 times to get him. And I'm in a position now where I don't think you can kill my Vader, so I'm just going face. And I'm not doing anything else. Something hits the board, I'm deleting it. With a takedown, or an open fire, or a vanquish, or whatever. That's the deck. That's what it does. It relies on Vader, and once Vader comes out, you can usually turn the tide. But my opponent, again, is being very, very deliberate and slow with how they're doing everything. To the point where I swing with Vader, they have 1 card in hand, they play something, I delete it, and now they have 1 open resource, 1 card in hand, and they're thinking, and they're thinking, and they're thinking, and they're thinking. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and it's okay. And eventually, again, I look at the clock, there's like 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. I said, hey, we're up against it here. There's 4 minutes left. Just want to let you know. because the clock was like behind them. So I'm facing the clock. So I'm just letting them know. I said, there's 4 minutes left. Again, we're both like 2-0 at this point. So double losses is doing nobody a favor. And a resolution to the game is where we want to get. Win or lose. If I lose, I lose. If they lose, they lose. I don't care. But this is where I got annoyed. Because eventually we get to the point where they knew that they lost. They tapped out. I claim initiative. They couldn't kill my Vader. My Vader swings and I win on my turn. And they said, well, it looks like that's the game. I said, absolutely, it is. I put my hand out. Good game. We shake hands. I'm cleaning up my stuff, and he leans forward. He's like, I just want to say something to you. I said, sure. He's like, I just want to let you know that when it comes to this matchup, it is my strategy to play very slowly so that we can get to a draw. I said, pardon me? It's like, yeah, like I slow things down once we get to a point where, so that, you know, I'm purposely playing slowly. I said, okay, do you understand or do you realize that is against the rules? Intentional slow play is against the rules. He's like, yeah, but that's how I can win the game. I said, well, we're not winning. We're losing. But I'm like, I just want you to understand here that you are admitting to me that you are purposely cheating. You're circumventing the rules here. Like, that's not a legal approach to this. Yeah, but you know what? Like, that's how it goes. This is a best of one. That's how it's going to go. I want to see how you approach this matchup as a Vader Blue. I'm not familiar with this deck. And he had a double deck box, and his other hero was Vader. He's like, I have this deck too, but I chose to bring this one because I want to see how you're going to react to how I play this. I said, well, my reaction is I asked you multiple times to sort of pick up the pace of play. I said, he's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, what can you do? I said, well, I can call the judge. I didn't, but I can. And this is where I got really upset. And by upset, I mean internally. I was trying to advise this person, coming from a position of just trying to, you know, benefit of the doubt. Maybe this person doesn't understand the ramifications of this, doesn't understand the consequences of this, but I kept trying to interject and explain to them that, hey, this is not appropriate, first of all. It's not good sportsmanship, but beyond that, it's against the rules. It's against the rules. And you're admitting to taking a strategy. And he's like, I don't think you understand what I'm saying here. I said, I fully understand. And he kept interrupting me. Like, I can't stress enough how many times this guy kept interrupting me to tell me that I didn't know what I was talking about. And I kept saying, I said, look, dude, I said, all I'm saying is that, and I'm not even going to mention the times he interrupted me while I'm saying this. I'm just going to give you my part of this, because what he kept saying was more of the same. I just kept saying, I'm like, look, you admitted to me that you were intentionally slow playing. I told you that is against the rules. You said, I know. That's it. That's the end of the story. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, how are you going to prove that? I said, prove it. I said, you admitted it. You admitted it to me that you were intentionally doing this, knowingly circumventing the rules to try to do this. I said, I won. The game is over. We're past that. I said, you are just intentionally slow playing, which is against the rules to get me there. I said, I'm trying to advise you that other players that you might come up against in future scenarios are not going to be as forgiving or as kind as I am here. That someone might advise you to play faster, and after that, they will call a judge. And then what's going to happen? Well, what happens after that is the judge can disqualify you from, like, give you a match loss and possibly disqualify you from the tournament. That's what it is. He's like, well, how are they going to prove that? They'll watch the game. They will stand there and watch the game. I was just there because it's a store showdown. It's not a massive tournament, but I'm just trying to help you here. And the guy kept, again, interrupting me and whatever. And then this is where it got interesting, because he said, well, you know what? I come from, like, playing miniatures, and taking 4 minutes for a turn is reasonable. And I say, and my reply was, if you're taking 4 minutes for a turn, that is obscenely too much time. 4 minutes is, what, like 18% of the game clock to make one decision? I'm not talking about everything that occurs on the 5 resource turn. I'm talking about I'll play a stormtrooper, and now it's to you, and you take 4 minutes of time. That's what they're trying to argue. I said, no. And then this is where the other people around me started to sort of interject. And the dude next to me says, 4 minutes is absolutely unreasonable for amount of time. And he said, well, I come from the miniatures world, and that's not how it goes. So I say, listen, I don't know miniatures. If it comes to talking about miniatures or rules or gameplay, I'll defer to you. I've been playing cards for 27 years. 4 minutes to make a decision is a long time and is unreasonable and is not correct. And furthermore, you admitted to me that your strategy was such to burn the clock out as much as possible. And you're trying to tell me that I don't know, I don't understand your approach. But at that point, the time had obviously expired, and the judge was like, can you report your match already? I said, yes, I won. I won the match. Let's move on to the next one. And I'm packing my stuff up. And I just was like, the guy's like, you just don't understand. I said, clearly not. All good. Anyways, gets to, I'm 3-0 of 5 rounds. You think you're locked for top 8, right? Negative. Because my round 4, I lost rounds 4, and I lost round 5. I lost round 4 to Han Green, which is a weakness of mine. The dude I played against was awesome. We had such a good time. It was so much fun. I just want to cleanse my palate of the garbage that I dealt with prior. And it even got to the point where the dude had me absolutely balls to the walls beaten, and had he had, what did he have? He had a Han Solo that I entrenched. He had a Home One and a Millennium Falcon on the board, and I had no response. He absolutely won the game. So I said, listen, here's the deal. I wholeheartedly concede, you win. I just want to have some fun and get a little cinematic over here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a TIE fighter. You're going to claim initiative, and I want you to run your Home One into my TIE fighter because I just want to see that happen. And he's like, you got it. So we did that, and he runs his Home One into my TIE fighter, and then I say, okay, addendum. I just drew a Power of the Dark Side. Can I play it, and can you kill your Han Solo? And then you win? And he's like, yeah, man, it's all good. So I play Power of the Dark Side. He sacrifices his Han Solo. He swings in with his Falcon and beats me. And I was like, oh, thank God. And I was like, perfect. So I'm 3-1. Still feeling good. Next game, I play against an exceptional double blue Iden player. The brilliance here is that I was playing very well. I think it was relatively neck and neck until I managed to heal and mill 3 times with Vigilance. And I milled away all kinds of goodies. I even milled away, I think, 1 or 2 of their Vigilances. What didn't I mill away? Restock. And then they restocked, and that was basically lights out. So I'm 3-2. I'm like, you know what? It's all good. I get my top 8 finish. I think we're all right. Zuhair wins the whole thing, goes 5-0. Attaboy. There's no top 8, by the way. There's no top 8 bracket. It's just they award prizes based on your finish in Swiss. They're calling out the stuff, like all the names. I bubbled out because because my loss in round 4 was to a pair down. So I lost on breakers and didn't get anything. So if you remember last week, I bubbled out as a 5th place in Swiss, and bubbled out because they cut to a top 4. Then Harry Tarantula on Saturday, I started 2-0, just needed to win 1 more game. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And today I was like 3-0. Amazing. We're there. Nope. Couldn't do it again. Could not do it again. So I'm a little bit tilted, but we're okay. It's okay. They gave me a pack, and they gave me 2 OP packs and a takedown promo. I'm content. I'm happy. I met some incredible people there. I'm gonna name some names. I met there's John and Garrett and my boy Josh. Josh, the Leia player, is awesome. Josh was an awesome dude. Josh top 8'd, and rightfully so. I think Josh squeaked in as an 8. You're welcome, Josh, for the base, changing your base to a 30 health base. Got you. Dean Tran also placed, I believe, and a boy, of course, Zuhair was awesome. And then just a lot of great people. But like the worst part about this was that one match where the dude blatantly admitted to cheating against me. Not because it's like, it wasn't even an approach of like, oh, I had an opportunity to cheat, so I took it. It was, this is my strategy to win. Once Vader turns the corner against Sabine, my strategy is to slow play you so that we both lose. That wasn't like, I didn't have to squeeze it out of them. I didn't have to just kind of like detective it out or suss it out. No, they said that to me. Like, they volunteered it. Like, the game was over, I was getting up and leaving. He's like, by the way, my strategy was to cheat against you the whole time. And it's all good because they can't prove it. Even though I'm like, what the hell? So I'm going to end this little tournament review in multiple ways. Number one, Zuhair, you're a beast. You're a beast. Number two, Josh, you're a solid dude. I cannot stress that enough. Dean, you're awesome as well. Everybody else I met there, like Garnet and other people, you guys are so cool. The vast majority, 99.9% of every interaction I've had in this game has been awesome, except for this one. But we're going to push it to the side. Harry Tarantula is an exceptional store. I think it's really damn awesome. Game Shack was fun. It was great. A little unorthodox, the best of one. A little cramped, but hey, you do what you can. And I'm very happy that they put this tournament on. And their prizing situation was generous for what we had to pay to get in, which was not much. But I'm gonna PSA this. If you are going to do that, if you are going to cheat, bend the rules, slow play, be that person, I'm going to call you out every time. Because for every person that you do this to, you're not going to get somebody like me who is going to sit there and try to have a civil conversation with you about why it's wrong. And the whole thing was like, I explained it to this person that the next person that you encounter who calls you out on this, that you try to pull this stuff on, will not be as kind, may not be as forgiving, and will probably just call a judge after their first request for you to hurry up. I was trying to angle the conversation as kind of a little bit of advice, saying exactly that it's illegal, it's not sportsmanlike, and in the future, the consequences can be much more significant than this conversation, because I'm just some random schmuck. That's the truth. I'm not there gonna pull any kind of card of I got a podcast. Who gives a crap? It's not about podcasts. It's not about who you are. It's about integrity. So right then and there, the person that you try to pull this on might not have the same kind of patience and willingness to have this conversation as I did. So to this person, if you happen to stumble upon this, I forgive you because maybe this is how you think, what you think is okay. The whole thing of approaching this with, well, how are they going to prove it? I don't have to prove it. You admitted it with like 6 people within earshot of this that are watching this game. And the whole thing of you rebutting that with, well, what are they going to do? What is a judge going to watch the whole game? Yes, that's what a judge is supposed to do in a future tournament. Now, maybe the resources are not there, but now you know. And I know your face, I know your name, and so does everyone in that room. And was it worth it? Was one potential possible win worth just shredding your any ounce of integrity and reputation that you have in a growing and budding community worth it? I don't think so. And I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do anything like that. But what I will say is that cheating, if you have to cheat in a card game to feel good, your problems go well beyond the table. And I wish you well. So it's not anger I feel, it's pity. And on that, I'm going to go and open this pack of cards. See you later.